for sticking with us as we switch to Zoom. My name is Isabel, as Lindsay mentioned, and I am the current Miss Illinois, and I'll explain a little bit more about what the job of Miss Illinois is like, along with my social impact initiative, which is called the Media Literacy Movement. But I'm so excited to be here with you all this morning. I also work as a TV news reporter and anchor at a news station in Southern Illinois. So I've been combining my passions for media literacy with my work in the media itself. This morning, I'll be chatting with you all about why I'm passionate about advocating for media literacy, how each of us can use media literacy skills to be smart and responsible creators and users of media and technology. And I'll leave some time to answer questions. So for students who are watching, feel free to think of some questions while I'm speaking, and then your teacher can write it in the chat box, and I'd be happy to answer any question that you may have at the end of our time. And then during the second half of the workshop, my friends at the Illinois Digital Educators Alliance will share some more tips with you all. So before we get started, I thought that I would share a little bit about myself. I play the violin, as you can see the little violin picture there. I have two dogs in the photo. One's name is River and one's name is Ruby. River is the black and white dog and Ruby has the red hair. My favorite food is ice cream. And again, I'm on the news. There's a little news microphone.
Randy Vessel bought a door.
Every day when I'm working at the news station as a reporter, I'm making or creating media of some sort. And if any of you watching live in Southern Illinois, your parents might even watch the news station that I work for. It's called KFES 12 on Channel 12. So I thought that I'd show a little look at what I do when I'm working at the news station. These are some clips.
Doorbell with the camera on it, like this one, to help keep his family safe. But he didn't expect it would record this footage. Take a look. Jeff, there is so much to see here along Brookwood Drive in Cape Girardeau. And if you take a look at this particular display behind me, it is full of witches, all up to different things. And all along the street, each yard has a different theme. So there are skeletons, clowns, everything that you can imagine that would put people in the Halloween spirit. Greeted by family and friends, veterans on the first honor flight out of Cape Girardeau Regional Airport returned home this morning. Noelle Williams spoke with those who took the trip about their experience. Costume superheroes.
So that's a little bit of a look at what I do. And I see one classroom just joined us. So hello, everyone. If you don't mind dropping in the chat. Oh, I see you waving. Hi. I wish we could be in person, but it's so nice to see you. If you all could drop in the chat what grade level you all are from, if you're with the classroom, that would be awesome. And I'll use the chat feature later on so we can all kind of interact virtually. So also here are some behind the scenes. Oh, fourth grade in Oak Lawn. Hello. Here are some behind the scenes look at the news station where I create media daily. The lights are off, but this is one of our desks where some anchors stand. Over here is a green screen where the sports broadcasters stand when they're sharing information about sports and the teams in our area. There's another anchor desk. And then the video is going to move over to the main anchor desk. So this is where I stand when I anchor the weekend evening news. Over there in the back, it says First Alert Weather. That's where the meteorologists work, and they tell us what the weather's going to be like. This is a teleprompter. There's screens with words on them. And I push what looks like a little gas pedal for the words to move along the screen. I'm going to show you that right now. And so when I push that down, the words move so I can read what I'm saying when I'm anchoring the news. And then there's one more green screen, and this is where the meteorologists or the people who forecast the weather, that's where they stand. And this is the control room. Lots of, oh, it's still loading. Lots of TV screens and computer screens. So I'm truly surrounded by lots of media every day. And this is where the people work who make sure that your commercials run on your TVs, that the news or the TV shows that you watch pop up on your television. They sit in the control room. So for my other job, when I'm not working at the news station, being Miss Illinois, I spend my year talking to students, like some of you, and I talk with them about media literacy and teaching media literacy skills. And I also meet with people who make and pass laws in Illinois to advocate for media literacy skills to be taught in classrooms like yours. So I just used the word advocate, and if this word is new to you, to some of the students who are watching, I'm an advocate for media literacy education. So when you're an advocate for something, you support it and you speak out about a cause that you're passionate about and that you care about. So for example, if you feel like the playground in the town you live in is maybe always dirty and has trash laying around, you could go out and meet with the people who help care for the outdoor spaces in your town and ask them if they can clean up the playground so more kids have a safe space to play. You could also go and pick up trash yourself. And if you do these things because you're passionate about having a safe and clean space for other kids like you all, you're an advocate for that safe and clean space for kids to play outside. And that's just one example of many different things that you can advocate for. When I competed for the job of Miss Illinois, and I have my crown, which it's more fun to see in person, but this is what I wear sometimes when I'm out and about. And then this is my sash. So I'll wear this across my chest. When I competed for the job of Miss Illinois, I could choose what I wanted to dedicate my time to and what I wanted to personally advocate for. And what I chose was media literacy education. To kind of simplify media literacy education in just a few words, it's learning how to be smart, safe, responsible, and respectful users and creators of media. So whether that's on Snapchat or TikTok or Instagram, Facebook, whatever digital media you might use. For example, every state title holder, so I'm Miss Illinois, but there's, Miss Tennessee, Miss New York, every state title holder picks a different cause that they're passionate about that they want to advocate for. So for example, my friend Miss Tennessee, she talks to students about the importance of voting. Miss Georgia is passionate about making sure students have books to read at home and promotes literacy. And Miss Arizona is passionate about encouraging people to volunteer in their community. So we're all advocates for different causes that we're passionate about and that are near and dear to our hearts. To give you some background on why I chose to advocate for media literacy education, I was thinking about you all. I was thinking about students just like you. When I was your age, social media really wasn't popular. I remember begging my parents to let me get a Facebook account. That was the big cool thing. I know TikTok's the cool thing now, but Facebook was the cool thing when I was in school. And I begged my parents to let me get a Facebook account after I graduated 8th grade. At that time, again, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, they didn't exist or they weren't really known of. And YouTube also wasn't popular, if I remember correctly. I don't think that we had iPads. Maybe we were just starting to get tablets to watch YouTube videos on. So when I think of all of you, 2nd, 4th graders, 8th graders, even high school students, I want you to have safe and positive experiences when you're using digital media and social media. While social media has many benefits, of course, and it can be fun, there are statistics that show some of you might spend more time using digital media every day than you do spend sleeping every night. So that means that you might be on your phone and your tablet and your computer more than you have time to rest up every night to prepare for the next day. And I know I feel different pressures and emotions when I'm scrolling through social media. And if you have social media, you might feel the same. I can feel anxious, I can feel sad, maybe even angry sometimes when I'm on social media for too long. Oh, I'm seeing some comments in the chat section. Miss Garner said, we are talking a lot about our digital footprint lately. This is very timely for us. Yes, that's great to hear that you all are learning that. Also, when I was thinking about what I advocated for, I thought about cyberbullying online. Knowing that you or your friend might be dealing with cyberbullying or bullying online also makes me passionate about media literacy education. So now that I've shared what I'm passionate about, I would like you all to take some time to think about what you are passionate about and what you would like to advocate for. Maybe you're passionate about talking to people about how to be a good friend and not bully, or maybe you're passionate about being kind to our environment. Maybe you're passionate about raising money for an organization that helps children who might be sick in the hospital for a long time. So if you could share your answer with your teacher, and then it can be put in the chat, and I'll share them with everyone too, about what you would advocate for and what you're passionate about, excuse me. I see someone commented, what are some things you advocate for? If any more teachers joined us, will you write in the chat what grade level you're with, please? They will advocate for picking up litter. Great one. Yes, that's so important. I think we're getting another one. Oh, we have a high school class joining us, financial literacy. Hello to that class. Making the environment more safe, definitely. So for the high school class that's joining us, what all are you passionate about advocating for? I can see you all raising your hands in Miss Garner's class. You all are great participants. I'll wait a few more minutes to see if we have some more answers. I'm sure you all have great answers of things that you're passionate about advocating for. So Mrs. Bingham's class is concerned about art theft, environment, movies and theaters versus online. That's great. Advocating for student internet safety at home. Awesome. Thank you all for participating. Those are all great answers, and it's so awesome to hear what you're passionate about, and you truly can make a difference by being an advocate for all of those things. So as I just mentioned, we did that. We talked about that already. One of the best parts about being an advocate is that you can truly make change for the better. For example, when I teach other students like you all media literacy skills, I'm trying to help them learn how to be smart and responsible and kind when they're using media. I mentioned Miss Tennessee before, and that she's an advocate for voting, and she makes powerful change by registering people to vote so more people vote and make their voices heard. Say you want to be an advocate for kindness, you could make change by starting a club in your school that spreads kindness to other students. Or if you want to be an advocate for kids in hospitals, you can collect new toys and games for them and drop them off at the hospital, or raise money for them to help them pay for their treatment in the hospital. You all have so much power within yourself to make positive change. And when I was your age, I don't think that I learned what it meant to be an advocate or how I could advocate for something. So it's so great that you all are interested in learning how to advocate. Oh, I see some people waving. What class are you from? I can't see who the user is, but hello. Thanks for joining. So now that we've talked about what it means to be an advocate and the impact that you can truly make, each of you as advocates yourself, I'm going to take some time to be an advocate myself for media literacy education and share some tips on how you all can be media literate. And I know we have a wide age range here, so this will kind of hopefully work for everyone. So one of the basic parts of media literacy is learning how to be critical thinkers and asking questions about your consumption and your usage of media. So there are 4 main questions that I like to ask myself and that I like to share with other students. The first one is what? What media am I consuming or creating? And if you've learned media literacy in some of your classes, you might have already heard this. So if so, then it's just a refresher, I guess. But what media am I consuming or creating? What platforms am I using? For example, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. What device am I using? A tablet, iPhone, etc. The second question is when. What time of day am I using this media? What day of the week? And what else is happening while I'm consuming this media? So is it when you're with your family and friends at the dinner table, or is it just when you're by yourself in your room? What else is happening at the time that you're consuming that media? The next question is how much? How much media are you consuming? For how long are you consuming it? And how often are you consuming it? And the last but most important question, I feel, is how does it make you feel? I think it's so important to take a second and check in with ourselves and think about how we're feeling when we're consuming media or creating media. And, we can have a whole range of emotions, different emotions while we're consuming media, but it's so important to take a moment and pause and think how we might be feeling, because like I mentioned before, you can feel all different types of emotions, happy and sad and everything in between. So I have a handful of different situations, and if you all could share your answer with your teacher, and then your teacher can write your answer in the chat about how the situation would make you feel. So here's the first one, and these are using some of the questions that we just talked about. The first situation is I watched YouTube cat videos on my mom's iPhone when Monday morning before school, and how much? For about 20 minutes. So how would you feel if you all could share in the chat if you were in this particular situation? I see all your raised hands. All right, looks like we're getting an answer from Miss Garner's class. Not feeling great because it's only 20 minutes. I know, it's fun to spend more time than 20 minutes on social media, that's for sure. But it's also good to use social media in moderation. So I think that 20 minutes can sometimes be the perfect amount of time. Entertained, yes, definitely. Cat videos can be funny and entertaining. I think this would make me feel happy. Maybe you have a little bit of extra time looking for new content. Maybe you have a little bit of extra time before school and you're ready to go, so you just spend some time watching some fun videos before you get out the door. Okay, here's another situation. So the what question, I played an online game, perhaps Fortnite or any game that you love, on my parents' computer when on Saturday, pretty much all day. How much? Probably about 6 hours. So the last question, how would this make you feel? I see some more hands raised. Okay, Miss Garner's class, someone said kind of good because it's fun and you can play with your friends and stuff. Yes, it would be fun to play with your friends. What about the fact that you're spending all day? Oh, there we go. Miss Garner says you should go outside though. I agree. Again, spending Saturday all day long, I think sometimes I can get lost scrolling on social media, or you can spend hours and hours and you kind of lose track of the time when you're playing a game. But sometimes it's good to take a minute and check with yourself, ask yourself these questions, and really be honest with yourself and say, should I go spend some time outside with my friends or spend some time with my family? Maybe it's good to just put media down for a little bit and do something different. Okay, and one more situation. So the question, what? I talked to my grandma on FaceTime on my dad's iPhone when? Tuesday evening, right before dinner, and how much for about 10 minutes? How would you feel in this situation? Oh, and I see Miss Bingham's class responded and said to the last situation, if we had nothing else to do, we would waste the day. We could waste the day.
Can I have Devon speak?
Oh, yeah. Hi.
Okay, go ahead, Devon.
I feel good talking to my grandma.
Perfect. Great answer. Yes, definitely. Maybe you don't live near your grandma, so it's nice to see her and catch up with her. Thank you. 10 minutes is a blessing, definitely. Anytime, sometimes to talk with loved ones that we don't see often is really special. All right. And when we take questions at the end, you all can come up and ask them and talk. That'll be fun. I love being able to see your faces a little closer and hear you. Okay. So as you all mentioned, we can have different feelings when we're using social media, and that's why it's so important to find media balance. So if you feel like you've been on your tablet or your phone or your computer for too long, maybe you're getting tired, it's a good idea, as I mentioned, to spend some time outside with your friends or hang out with your siblings. But sometimes we need to take some time away from it. And when you ask yourselves those questions, what, when, how much, and how does it make me feel, you're able to have that check-in with yourself and see if it's time to take a break. I know, like I kind of mentioned before, when I'm scrolling through TikTok, I'll look at the time and I'll say, okay, maybe it's 1:45 in the afternoon. I'll tell myself I have a lot to do today. I'm going to give myself 15 minutes until 2 p.m. to scroll on TikTok. And so I'll give myself that time check. And then once it hits 2 p.m., I'll be able to put my phone down and then continue on with all my chores or things that I have to do for the day. But kind of giving myself that time, you have 15 more minutes, helps me not get lost in scrolling for hours on end, because it's easy to just get lost on social media for hours. So now we're going to switch to a more serious topic that has to do with media, and that is cyberbullying. So using digital devices, websites, and apps to intimidate, harm, or upset someone. As I mentioned earlier, when I was your age, I didn't use social media, so I don't remember cyberbullying, but I do remember my first experience with bullying, and I thought that I would share that because maybe you've been in a similar situation or heard of a friend who's been in a similar situation. I was in 4th grade and it was a school field trip, and I remember being so excited to go on this field trip because field trip days are the best days. And all of us, we were on a bus to go to our destination. And I heard some of the other girls in my grade, I was in a smaller class, talking about going to a birthday party that weekend. I quickly realized that I was the only girl in my class who was not invited to that birthday party that was the next day. So of course, as you can imagine, I felt super hurt. I felt upset. I felt left out. And I think I was just holding back tears. Honestly, I remember this moment so vividly because it left such an impact on me when I was in 4th grade. So word got back to the other girl who was hosting the birthday party on the bus, and for some reason she had an invitation with her. So she crumpled it up like a ball of paper and tossed it across the school bus at me and invited me, I guess you could say, to her birthday party. It was a little late. And that even upset me even more because of the way that she did that. I mean, clearly it was not thought of in the moment when she was inviting everyone else, and it seemed to be an intentional way to leave me out. So I was so upset. When I got off the school bus, one of my best friends at the time, her name was Kimmy, she came up to me and she asked me how I was feeling and checked in with me and stayed with me for the rest of the field trip, and truly was a really good friend in that moment. 4th grade was many, many years ago, but I still remember that day. And I think that just goes to show how important it is to be kind and to be nice to other people. Because being unkind and mean can really make a lasting impact on someone's life, and they might always remembered that moment, sadly. I think it's safe to say that we all want to be treated with kindness, and we all want to feel included and loved, and we all want to have good friends. So I encourage each of you to be that good friend every day, of course, when you're online, but also when you're in person. Invite someone maybe to sit with you who might be sitting alone at lunch or on the playground, or reach out to your friend if they feel sad, because having one kind friend in a difficult moment or a sad moment can really stick with someone and make a positive change in their lives that they might always remember for the better. One positive part of my story with bullying is that my friend Kimmy, who was nice to me in that moment, is still one of my best friends years and years later, many years later, because fourth grade was a long time ago. And she still continues to be the type of friend who stands up to me or stands up for me to this day. So being that one friend can make a huge difference in someone's life. If you have ever been in this situation where you feel like you're being cyberbullied, or if you are in the future, here are some things you can do. You can ignore the messages. You could block the bully on social media. You could use online reporting tools, take a screenshot of the messages to have them, and talk to a friend, and of course, tell a trusted adult like your teacher, an older sibling, or a parent. Now, Kimmy was an upstander for me in my situation with bullying because she stood up for what was right, and she was a good friend for me in the moment. So if you ever are in a situation where you hear about one of your friends being bullied or cyberbullied, here are some ways that you too can be an upstander. Ask the person how he or she might be feeling. Tell a teacher, coach, or parent or trusted adult about the situation. Encourage the target, who's the person who's being bullied, to not respond or retaliate. So encourage them to use some of those tools if they are being bullied, to report the person, block the person, ignore the messages, and encourage the person who might be bullied to tell a trusted adult so that they can get help too. If you've ever been in this situation where you feel left out or where someone has bullied you online or in person, I want you to know that you're not alone. I've been there too, and everything will be okay. Tomorrow will be a brighter and better day, and there really are people who love and care about you, who want you at their birthday party, who want to include you, and who value your friendship. So things will be okay, and I've been there too. You're not alone if you've been in that situation. When I talk about cyberbullying, I like to talk about this word empathy. Some of the high schoolers might have heard it before, or maybe some of the fourth graders too. So empathy, I put the little shoes on the screen because it's putting yourself into someone's shoes, imagining the feelings that someone else is feeling. For example, my friend Kimmy used empathy because she thought about how I might be feeling. Even though Kimmy was super excited and happy to be going to the birthday party, she thought, okay, my friend Isabel is probably sad and upset, so I'm going to be with her instead of being excited with my other friends about going to the birthday party. And she put herself in my shoes and tried to think about how I might be feeling in that moment. I think it's also important to be kind to ourselves. I know growing up with social media, I'm sure it's hard. I know that I'm older than you all, and I still feel pressure when I'm online, whether it's pressure to look a certain way, to have certain clothing, to go on a certain adventure and have all these really cool vacations to cool places, and so much more when I see different posts on Instagram or TikTok. And even sometimes I still feel like I'm not good enough or not smart enough, not pretty enough or not worthy enough when I'm scrolling through TikTok and Instagram, because it's easy to compare ourselves to other people that we see in other situations that we see. But you are all beautiful and kind and smart and worthy in your own way, and you all have such a bright future ahead of you. You don't have to look like someone or dress like someone or act like someone to be loved or celebrated or worthy. So before we answer some questions, I just want to let you all know one more time that I hope you know that you can make a difference in your school and in your neighborhood and in this world. You all have powerful voices and ideas, as some of you shared earlier. And when you choose to advocate for something you're passionate about and be kind, you can make a positive change in your community and make this world a better place. You all truly have the power to do that. And I know that you all are going to make such a positive impact in your communities by being advocates and standing up for what you believe in and for what's right. So thank you all for being such great listeners and for participating, even virtually. I'm so glad that we could share this time together, and it was great to hear about what you're passionate about advocating for. So does anyone have any questions? Feel free to just shout them out and come up to the camera if you're in the classroom. They can be questions about media literacy, advocating, Miss Illinois, whatever, or my news life.
How long have you been doing this?
Being Miss Illinois or talking about media literacy?
Media literacy.
For about 2 years. So honestly, I didn't know much about media literacy until I thought about how much we were on social media during the pandemic. So when some of you might have been home from school or learning virtually, I realized how much of an impact that it makes on your life. And that's when I really looked more into media literacy and what we could learn while we're in school about it. So not too long, which just goes to show you can make a difference in a short amount of time once you put your mind to it.
Okay.
Thanks for asking your question.
How long have you been in Miss Illinois?
So almost 1 year. In June, that will be 1 year, and it only lasts for 1 year. So in June, I will pass the job on to the next person.
Okay.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
I have a quick question about that. Will you continue working with students with media literacy?
Yes, definitely. I would love to. It's one of my favorite parts of being Miss Illinois, especially when we're in person. So maybe one day I can come to your classroom. That'd be fun. Hi.
How did you become a news worker?
I became a news reporter in 2018, so about 4 years ago. I studied journalism in college, and then I decided to work in the news industry.
I want to be a news reporter too when I grow up.
Oh, that's awesome. I love to hear that. That's so exciting. You can do it. I believe in you.
Thanks.
I'll have to look out for you one day on the TV. That's so cool. Thanks for your question. Hi.
If they look a little different, it's because today's Inside Out Day.
Oh, that's fun. Hi, what's your question?
Okay, so like how much people is there like a lot of people working? Like is it like a really hard work
At the
For which job?
at the studio?
Oh, at the news station, yes, a lot of people working. We have a huge office space with a ton of desks, and there are a lot of people behind the scenes doing a lot of work. So it's a huge group and team effort, definitely. Good question.
Why did you want to become a news reporter?
So why I first wanted to become a news reporter is because I loved writing. I really loved all of my English classes when I was in school and your age. But then I realized that I could meet people like you all every single day. So when I'm working in the news, I'll go to classrooms some days. Some days I'll interview police officers. Some days I'll interview lawmakers in the community. Some days I'll interview parents. So I get to meet new people every single day, which is really fun and exciting. And I get to share people's stories, which I love doing. It's an exciting job. No 2 days are ever the same. Thanks for your question.
How long do you have to work in the studio?
I work a typical day, so 8 hours is pretty standard, 5 days a week. So I have 2 days off. And typically I'm live on the 6 p.m. news. So I'll go into work in the morning and I'll share my story ideas with my boss, and he'll help me decide what my story is going to be for the day. Then I'll interview people, I'll write the story, I'll take some video footage on a video camera and use that for the story, and then I'll present it live on the news at 6 p.m. So it's a full packed day, but just a standard 8-hour work day. Thanks for your question. These are great.
What station do you work at?
It's called KFVS 12, and it's in Southern Illinois. We actually cover 4 states where all of the states touch. So Southern Illinois, Missouri, Kentucky, and a little bit of Tennessee. Kind of all the edges of the states meet together. We cover a big area. Thanks for your question. Hi.
Hi. My question is, can you be Miss Illinois again? Or
I
is it just once?
I can't. It's one time. But I do get asked this a lot. Can I keep the crown? Yes, I get to keep the crown, so that's nice. But just one time. 1 year, one time. Good question. Is that everyone? Oh, are there any more? Good. All right. Well, if there are no more questions, then I am going to pass things back to Lindsay. And thank you all so much again for listening and for all of your questions and participation. I appreciate it.
Real loud.
Aw, thank you.
That was awesome. Thank you so much, kids and students everywhere. Izzy, that was perfect. I think it's such a timely topic to talk about media literacy, but also advocacy as well. And I think it doesn't matter what age you are, you can be an advocate for anything that you are passionate about. So we're so excited to be able to empower these young learners to be able to go after their passions. And so I want to take just a minute to tell the students and teachers that we have on about our Student Advocacy Day that typically happens in May. So this time next year, students could have the opportunity to present in Springfield, Illinois, a topic that they are truly passionate about. So whether it's something to do with the environment or perhaps something that you've used technology to enhance your learning about, we'd love for you to take ownership over that learning and come to Springfield and present to the lawmakers and the policymakers in Illinois so that they know how important it is to you to have technology in your classrooms. Media literacy is a big part of that technology access, and utilizing technology in meaningful and safe and authentic ways is so important to us. And so we hope that you have found something you're passionate enough about to advocate for. And as IDEA members, we're here to support you throughout that journey. So thank you to all the students, the teachers, and to Isabel for taking some time today to meet with all of us and work through these most important topics. So that's our presentation for today. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much, Isabel. That was amazing.
Oh, thanks. I left you more time. Sorry, I didn't know if I should cut it shorter with our issues, but
No, nope, that was perfect. That was absolutely perfect.
All right.
And the team and I were just talking about how impressed we were with the way that you engage with students, because a lot of times with presenters, it's not as interactive and it's not, like you just did a really great job making it authentic for them, but also bringing them into the conversation, which is so important. So thank you for creating that presentation and taking the time to work with the students.
Yeah, I really appreciate you saying that. I was thinking that myself. I'm like, it's so much easier in person. First of all, it takes up so much more time because they all are participating and answering questions. But I tried. I thought, what could I do over Zoom? So we're learning. Thank you.
No, it was great.
Izzy, yes, thank you so much. This was fabulous. I'm sorry for the tech issues. Thanks for being patient with us on that. But oh my gosh, this just made my day. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for saying that. Thank you so much for thinking of me and having me. I was so excited to do this. So thank you.
Well, we hope that we'll be able to collaborate with you in the future, well past June, well past every, the Miss Illinois title I know you're handing off, but we'd still love to work with you because we do believe in your message. So
thank you. I believe in yours too. So thank you so much.
I
hope you have a good day.
Thank you. You as well.
Bye.
Bye.